So before every race or before every run, you always see some dude out there stretching. He's got his leg up on a tree or a fence post or a tree branch. I guess a tree branch. If he's that flexible. There's always some guy stretching before the run. And today we're going to talk about why that's not a good idea. I'm Nick Corona with Lafitte Running, and today we're going to talk about why it's good before a run to do a warm-up and after the run to do stretching. Now, that's the difference between a warm-up and a stretch. Well, a warm-up gets muscles moving. It improves flexibility. It literally warms up the muscle, gets blood flowing through the muscle, dilates the capillaries in the veins, and also helps improve flexibility. This is important because especially if you're about to power through a hard run, but even just a simple run, it's good to get those muscles warmed up first before you shock them into a hard effort. If you shock them into a hard effort, it's not out of the realm of possibility to get a muscle pull, to even like tear something. But most likely what will happen is you're going to start your run crazy stiff and awkward and demoralized because it's kind of a bad way to start a run. Tons of different ways to warm up. Some people, like me, I let the first mile of a run be the warm-up. I get in that mindset of like it's a 12-minute mile, stupid slow, taking your time, and just loosening up for a mile. That's fine. Also, some other people do yoga, like the sun salutations kind of yoga thing. Some people do some simple calisthenics, kicking some leg kicks, that kind of thing. The only thing you don't want to do is like hard stretching, because the reason why you don't want to stretch, and the difference between a warm-up and a stretch is purposefully elongating the muscle to its limits and then trying to push a little past those limits. You don't want to do this before a run because A, it takes away power from the run. The muscle is now less strong than it was. And B, it's a cold muscle. When you stretch a cold muscle, you have the same drawbacks of doing a hard effort with a cold muscle. You could pull something, you could tear something. It's not as easy to stretch a cold muscle. It's way better to do that later. So it's bad to do a stretch before run. It's better to do a simple warm-up. Stay within your range of motion. Don't try to push past it. So if you are doing some kind of mobility activity, you want to start with something inside your range and you feel that muscle starting to get to the limit, back off a little bit. You're just loosening up the muscle. Now, then after you warmed up and you get moving, then kill it. Push as hard as you want that day. And then after the run, that's when you want to do the stretching. Focus on where you're tight. Me personally, it's always my iliopsoas. It's that hip flexor on the front of the hip. Hamstrings are a big one for every runner ever. And also calves. Stretch those guys out. That's when you want to go to the limit of the muscle and then try to push a little past it. You're going to get way better results for flexibility. And you'll get less, in my personal opinion, you'll get less injury, because I think the two reasons runners get repetition injuries is because either the muscle is not strong and stable enough or it's not flexible enough. So take 5 minutes before the run, take 5 minutes after the run to do that warm-up and to do that stretch for injury prevention, as well as just to get a more solid, comfortable run. So push on there. Now, if you're wondering about all the background noise, I'm going to flip the camera and I'm on a cruise. I've been enjoying running on the boat as well as cruise. So we went to the mountains and did a couple of mountain runs in the fjords, which I love that. I just learned that word applies to, I thought that was a Holland kind of thing. No, we have fjords in America. In Alaska, there's tons of them and they're beautiful, and you can run up them when the boat docks. It turns out like the boat docks in Alaska at like 6 a.m. You get off the boat, you run up a mountain, you come back for breakfast. It's kind of awesome. So I highly recommend Alaskan cruises for runners. They're great. So what I also recommend is No Man's Land in October. If you ain't signed up yet, there is now 4 different races you could do. You could do the 50K, you could do the 25K, you have the 8 miler, which is perfectly doable for any level of runner. And then now we have a ruck. We also have an 8-mile ruck where you carry a heavy rucksack, or if you're pressed for time and effort, you can fill up your school backpack with a ton of school books. Take your middle school kids backpack. Those are heavy as hell, I learned. But you can do a ruck now also. Sign up for them. It's going to be a lot of fun in October, and I love the idea that you can challenge the heck out of yourself. All right, so one more. Look at this. This was my view from the morning run. Sometimes the views make the whole thing. The boat is a third of a mile, so I did 24 stupid laps around this boat. So y'all have a great day and enjoy your run today.